Will the Astros break out the brooms and the bombs, and Joey Loperfido hits his first Major League home run? Cristian Javier looked a lot better this time around. A 4-game sweep of Oakland as they welcome the Brewers of Milwaukee. We're going to talk about this series sweep and what we have ahead of us on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Javier and Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You find me on X at Eric Talkstros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. First of all, I just want to say, hopefully you're safe out there. It looks like there's a bad storm that passed through today. The weather was really bad at Minute Maid Park. I know upper North Houston was pretty bad as well. But guys, we appreciate you. We appreciate all the everydayers, the people that listen to our podcast every day. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, and go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Go and give us a big fat thumbs up. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 bet. That's $150 with any $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started today. So, Brett, when you're not getting soaking wet while you're trying to watch Joey Loperfido hit his first home run, where can you find you at?
Well, you know, if I would have been in center field at the game, I would have gotten soaking wet, just like Morn and you know, Kaylee back there. But you can find me at H-John Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and you can find me at Backs of the Bullpen on X and on Instagram. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros. I'm super duper excited about this sweep, the first sweep of 2024. And most people would say, it's the Oakland A's. They're leaving town. They don't have a home, you know. But the Oakland A's have actually played decent baseball. They've got a really good relief pitching core. They have some starters that have the ability to go out there and do something in their offense. We've seen it very inconsistent this weekend, or this last week, but they have been able to score runs. They've beat some good teams. And
but big but.
No, but you know what? I said it this week and I said it last week. The Astros now reach a point of relevancy in the national conversation because now they have jumped the Oakland Athletics and they are in third place. The only two teams in front of them are the Mariners and the Rangers. And so now you clearly have an AL West division race. And after this series, you've got both teams, the Rangers facing the Orioles, the Astros facing the Brewers. They both face tough series. So, you know, I'm excited, Eric. But first and foremost, we got to talk about Javier, because the question going into this game was, if his velo is still down, if he throws another goose egg out there, maybe something's wrong with him. I think he might have gotten rid of that suspicion tonight.
Yes, I know I put the first sweep up there, but this is actually the first 4-game sweep of the season. They did have a sweep of the Rockies, and the Rockies are playing great baseball. And like they always say, the cream always rises to the top. And I think what we saw was the A's playing great baseball. They had the pitching, like you said, the relievers were playing great to start the season. They're getting some good contribution from some young hitters, and their pitching was doing pretty good. But what hit them recently was injuries. They have to, they don't have the same depth that the Astros system does. The Astros have dealt with a lot of injuries as well. So they were struggling early in the year. So now you see the A's kind of, they're probably going to be free falling a little bit. And we don't really know where. I mean, we know that they're going to be playing in Sacramento. Is that where they're going to be playing? Or
I think they're going to play Sacramento the next few years. Yeah, because Vegas, they don't have anything decided in Vegas. Right. It's a pretty crappy situation all the way around, especially for that fan base.
Yeah, but the A's are not ready to really compete. Give them a few years, give them some draft picks, and I think that this team could be good. But at the same time, they have to actually spend some money, and I don't think they'll do that until they get that new stadium in Vegas and the owners are going to want to get the fans to come. And so I think it's once they get to Vegas, that's when you'll see that team get really good. But Cristian Javier, and I heard him, I believe that they were talking about it during the start. I think that it was Julia Morales. She said that basically Javier was just trying to get comfortable. He said that the minor league start, it's good, but it doesn't really help you fully get ready for a major league start. And so he came in his last start. It was on the road. He just wasn't comfortable. He just wasn't really ready for that start. But after that, after being embarrassed, so to speak, he went out there and he did what Justin Verlander did, and he adjusted things, and he really responded. And I like Cristian Javier today, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 80 pitches. I mean, Espada could have let him go a little bit longer, but this is only his second start coming back from IL. So 80 pitches, I think, was good enough for Cristian Javier. And Sean Dubin came in and got an old-fashioned save, 3 innings. He did allow the 1 run, but I think that what the Astros have done the past 2 days is save the bullpen arms.
No, big time, and that's huge because for Sean Dubin to come in and get a 3-inning, like you said, old-fashioned save. Last night, I was at the game the night before. Thanks for covering for me, by the way. I appreciate it, Eric. I was there, and at one point, I believe Hader got up, then he sat down. Dubin got up, then he sat down. And I thought, because I literally tweeted out, Dubin's got the 9th, or, Hader's got the 9th. Okay, never mind. He's sitting down. Okay, Dubin's got the 9th. Never mind. He's sitting down. Martinez, it's yours. And I remember someone asking me, why would they let Martinez close it? I'm like, they're like, he's not a 9th inning guy. And I'm like, they really don't have a 9th inning guy tonight. They are thin. And so this is the type of stuff in a season that a manager, pitching coaches, you talk about a first-year coach, and we've been critical of some things that we feel like Joe Espada has done or not done, moves that we may have agreed with. Or I haven't gone as hard at him. I don't think you have. I know you have for sure. I mean, I may be have been critical, but a lot of people were like, "Let's get rid of this dude. Who else is coming in to manage? Is he going to be a mid-season fire? All this stuff." Look, you got to weather the storm. You got to give this guy a chance, Eric. And he comes in and he manages this bullpen very well. And the other part of that is the players have to execute, and the players executed. So it looks good on both manager and the relief pitching core. So great job tonight.
Yeah, and after what happened in the first 2 games of the series where the bullpen basically was exhausted, you had Ronel Blanco exit after the 3rd inning, and then you had basically the extra inning games in game 1. But through all the just everything that happened, the Astros played through it and they got the sweep. And I know the A's are not a good baseball team. They're a young team. They have a lot of it's not the Barry Zito and Mark Mulder type A's, but this is still a team that has given the Astros trouble in the past. And I think that this is a step in the right direction. The Astros have won 7 out of past 8 games. And there's a lot of positives to be taken from this. Like you saw Joey Loperfido. We'll talk about that in a second. He's looking like a major leaguer now, and you're seeing some more offense consistently. And we'll talk about in a second. We'll also talk about the Brewers. The Brewers are a hot hitting team, and they're going to be a tough challenge for the Astros. And it's unlike the A's, they're going to probably score some runs, and their pitching is okay as well. But this series was what the Astros needed to get them in the right direction. And like I said in the podcast, Brett, this is the reason why a lot of people called us homers. A lot of people said that we don't know what to talk about. We got Astros colored glasses, whatever the phrase was.
Right.
But we know what this team is capable of. And I know Dana Brown just says, well, any day now we'll go on this run. And It's because we know the players that are on this team. And when you know the capability of your team, you're going to know when they're going to start taking off. And at some point, and I've been saying, wait till May. So I know you want to go all deep into Loperfido in a second. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. And we'll go ahead and talk about the 8 runs in 2 innings. That was a big offensive explosion as a whole. And we'll talk about that in a second.
This episode is brought to you by supplyhouse.com. Get supplies from the site that's made for skilled trades. Supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free trade master program. Every trade master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/T-M and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from everywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Go and subscribe to us on YouTube and go ahead and check out Locked On Sports Day. It's your first ever 24/7 streaming platform out there. All the news you need to know every day. And go and check out Michael Connor with the Locked On Astros postcast as well. You can find everything on your Amazon Fire TV stick. Just search the free channels app. And Brett, before I go ahead and hand the baton to you to talk about Loperfido, because I know you've been dying to talk about him, I do want to make a correction. The Mariners are going to be the ones that are playing the Orioles, and the Rangers are going to be playing the Angels coming up.
I'm sorry. Did I say that? Okay, you're right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so but that's actually better because we want the Mariners to lose because we're trying to catch the Mariners and not necessarily the Rangers.
I want everybody. I want the Mariners. I want the Mariners and the Rangers to lose every game from here on out. I mean, basically, I can't stand either one of those teams. The Mariners, I can stand a little bit more because they're not really a threat until they are. But Joey Loperfido, he was asked after the game what it was like. He was asked down on the field by Julie Morales, and she said, "What's it been like in the clubhouse? What was it like hitting your first home run?" And he basically said that the veterans have been leading the young players, and the young players have gotten behind that. And the players all followed Breggy with the headbands, and they brought some good juju. He basically said when he hit the ball and he's rounding the bases, because she asked him what he was thinking, he said, "I just thought about all the hard work." He goes, "It's a special hit. You think about all the people that help you get to this point." And you love to see that. You love to see guys, because there is a term that people know. If you know anybody that has gone to the major leagues, people in those men's life will get quote unquote big leagues sometimes, meaning when they get to the big leagues, they kind of stop talking to people. You are buddies and friends from first grade up into college. All of a sudden they're in the big leagues. They don't talk to you. And there are some guys that are like that. They get real egocentric. They feel like they have to be more private in their lives. And Joey Loperfido just doesn't come across as a kid like that. From the interview I did with him right after the draft to just seeing everything on TV. And Eric, we've watched this kid, and the biggest knock on him was his swing and miss rate, was his strikeouts, and did he have staying power? Eric, I think this kid has staying power. I think this kid has it in him to be an everydayer, no pun intended for Locked On Astros, but he may be more of an everydayer than even Pedro Leon. I mean, Pedro Leon is heating up, and I talked about him on the last podcast I did when you weren't able to make it, and I just talked about Leon. When will he get his time? But the bottom line is Loperfido's getting it done, and he's getting it done in real time, and he finally hit that first home run. It wasn't the hardest hit ball, but you don't need to hit it very hard. It just has to go far enough. And so good job. Maybe he loosens up. Maybe we see Loperfido over the next 5 or 10 games hit 2 or 3 more home runs, because sometimes it takes a spark to get a fire started, and we can credit the Brady headbands for that.
All right. there's some breaking news that actually he got the ball back after the game. There's
Good.
no word as to what he had to exchange to get that home run. That ball went 354 feet. He is still leading the PCL, sorry, not
PCL,
PSL. That's the Texans seating license. So,
Joey Loperfido is awarding the seating license to the Texans. Go ahead.
But he's still leading the PCL with 13 home runs, and he's tied with Mayo with the Orioles with 13 home runs in all of AAA. So, and he's been up here since what, April something. He's been up here for a while, and so the fact that he's still leading the baseball with home runs just shows how hot he was. So he's showing a better bat. He's shown the line drive ability. Now he showed that lift, and this is something that we have not seen from him a lot since he's come up. He's batting .324 with a .819 OPS. He got a walk today. The strikeouts are still there. He's still going to strike out a lot. I think that you're going to see him probably not set a record for most strikeouts in a season for Houston Astros, but it's going to be one of those. He's going to be a strikeout king. It's going to be like one of those Adam Dunn type players, but he's either going to strike out or get a hit. And I'll take that. And I think that's what Jeff Luhnow was trying to do a couple of years ago when he brought on like Kobe Rasmus, Luis Valbuena, and a whole bunch of those players, like the swing and miss ability. They're going to hit some home runs, but they're going to strike out a lot. And so he was trying to sacrifice the strikeouts for the power. And I think that Loperfido, once he figures it out, he's already batting .324, even with striking out. So I think you can only go up from here. But yet I think that you have Chas McCormick coming back up pretty soon. He may play. I know he's going to play with the Space Cowboys tomorrow. And then he's going to play. He might play one more game Saturday. He may be back on Saturday. So who knows? But the Astros are in the middle of a 10-game homestand. And so the good thing is they don't necessarily need Chas McCormick right now. They have won 7 of the last 8, and they're playing pretty good baseball, and they're not out slugging. Yeah, they scored 8 runs in 2 innings in the 3rd and 4th inning today. You like to see this because the Astros have not done that a lot this year, and so you've seen them score maybe 1 run in first, 2 runs, 1 run, but now this was all at the same time. You would like to see some more runs throughout the game, but at the same time, you like to see that offensive explosion.
Well, look, those 6 runs, those 2 runs, and I can tell you, give a lot of credit to Kyle Tucker, getting his 1 hit, scoring 2 runs. He had 2 walks, so he was on base 3 times and 5 at bats. But Yainer Diaz, Jake Myers, and Joey Loperfido they basically hit a total of 10 times. They had 4 hits. They scored 7 of the runs. They were credited with RBIs. So they had a total 4 hit hard balls, and Loperfido with the 1 home run. You also had a walk by Loperfido followed by the 2 strikeouts. But regardless, Yainer Diaz comes in and just does a great job. And right here, I've got this Yainer Diaz with the bases clearing double, basically broke open the scoring. And this season, bases loaded, he's 2 for 5 with 6 RBI. So he is a guy you want in that spot. I don't remember last year ever having a catcher that we wanted in that spot. But how many times, Eric, was Martin Maldonado in that spot? And it just completely killed rallies. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Yainer Diaz is doing his job. Yainer Diaz is holding his own. He's been heavily criticized this year because pitchers, quote unquote, haven't been performing. But I absolutely love that. I saw that you flash up there. The Astros were 3 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. Look, that's 300. We need that. And that's what was missing. Remember, we were getting all those hits and no runs. Now we're getting all those hits and the runs. And I don't care if it's against the A's. I don't care if it's against the Orioles. I don't care if it's against the Marlins. It's a major league team, and you need these wins. Now, what I need is when the Astros do go against the Mariners this month, when they do go against the Angels, the divisional foes, they need to beat them because right now we own the winning series so far, 4-3 over the Rangers. We need to keep that dominance over the AL West.
I love late in the game when Dubon went in to play for Altuve, and then you had Greg Kessinger go in play for Jeremy Pena, but there's a bouncing ball that went up the middle, and Greg Kessinger was going to make that play, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in the game. I actually can make a play." And then here comes Doobie right in front of him, making the veteran move and making the call. And the look that Greg Kessinger gave him is like, "Come on, man. Let me eat. Let me eat. I want to get some playing time too. We know you could do everything." And that's what Dubon could do. He could play every position. We saw him play first base. And he was saying that actually playing first base is one of the hardest positions because every ground ball, you have to run back to the bag. If it's not coming to you, you have to run back to the bag to get in position to catch the ball. So I do want to talk a little bit about what Dubin did by saving the bullpen. And sometimes it be like that. That's probably the last time you'll ever hear me say that. And you'll hear why in a second.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon and you can get some great deals. Look, it's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL. And FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a big win on your own. You don't have to be Luka Doncic. You don't have to be Nikola Jokic. You can be you. That's right. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's right. Not $50 bet, not $5, but any $5 bet. You get $150 in bonus bucks. $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. And look, let me tell you right now about the spread on one of the big games of the weekend, Knicks versus Pacers, 5.5 Knicks, minus 5.5 Pacers, and then Oklahoma City Thunder +4, and at Dallas Mavericks -4. So go check that out. You can go visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check it out. And guys, I had a real life situation today. It was I was coming home from my son's concert, and it was pouring down rain. It was like the storm was really bad, and I live far enough where if there's even a little bit of bad weather, Sports Talk 790, you can't get in your car. So guess what? I tuned in to Sirius XM, and I was able to listen to the Astros game on the way home as I drove very slowly because the rain was really bad. So on that note, go ahead. I mean, hopefully everybody was safe. I know that the rain was pouring into Minute Maid Park, and the Space City network hosts were getting soaked with a pregame show. And we know that there's some cracks in that building, but I'm really glad that Cristian Javier didn't show any cracks today. And so, but I think overall the bullpen has been shown a lot of cracks this year, but I think that may be cleaned up. I know there could be one player short, like we talked about. Ronel Blanco is going to be on the suspension list, so you cannot replace him. And you saw Sean Dubin go out there, pitch 3 innings today. And what this does is this allows Espada to save his big time relievers for the Brewers, because the Brewers, we'll talk about them in a second, are big time.
Yeah, no, this was a great opportunity for for Sean Dubin. You're talking about Bielak earlier. Bielak basically got traded for cash considerations. The Astros had simply used him up. They didn't have any other use for him. No offense. He was done. They used every bit of Bielak that they could. And I put this ticker on the bottom because a lot of people were asking about it. Jose Abreu has not played a single competitive at bat. He's only taken live BP. Everybody's like, wow, he's hitting the ball hard. I'm like, it's live BP. And when Dana Brown was asked about a date on his return, he refused to answer the question. What this signals to me is that the end is imminent for Jose Abreu. I don't know if they admit that or bite that bullet this early in the season, but if they can't figure it out, there may be a cutting loose and cutting ties with Jose Abreu, Eric. I think that's really on the table. I think right now it's within the realm of possibilities that they just eat their crow. We don't have a timetable, or we have no clue because Dana Brown won't even answer the question. So asking when he's coming back is really pointless. But Dubin getting the save tonight, Eric. This guy has fought through injuries, has fought through discouragement, came up last year, had a masterful start against the Rangers in Arlington. So we know he has this stuff. And for him to go out, yeah, he did give up the 1 run, but it's 3 innings. It's 1 run. It's not consequential, right? And like you said, it is key because this bullpen was taxed. So this was basically a rest day for the bullpen. This was like an off day, and you need those. You absolutely have to have those, especially when you're down a starter. I think Urquidy is coming back possibly after the Brewers series. Is what I'm hearing.
I think he's going to get one more start because he has one start. He's going to get one more start. They're going to see how deep he can go.
So he's got one more start, and then I believe they'll be done with the Brewers series. They've got one more series before they hit the road. I don't know if he joins the team before they leave, but I think that first road series for sure you're going to see Urquidy. But this sets us up now for the 6-man rotation, and I think things are starting to work out for the Astros, Eric.
Yeah, going back to Bielak, this was probably always in the cards. I don't think he was part of their long-term plans. He was out of options because of how the Astros used him early in his career. He would be a spot starter, sitting back down, and he basically did that for many years. This guy has not always been the best, but at times he really helped the Astros. So this is going to be a big loss. The A's see him as a starter, not a reliever. So they're going to probably, I think he's going to join them once they reach their next destination, but they're going to try to groom him to be a starter, try to stretch him out. And I think a lot of teams probably see Bielak as a starter, but with this loaded rotation, you're not going to get him in a rotation. And so I think this is a good opportunity for Bielak. It opens up a roster spot for the Astros. And so I think it's a win-win. And I wish Brandon Bielak the best of luck. He did nothing but good for the Houston Astros. And now the Astros have to play some good baseball against a team and the Brewers. And the Brewers have a 26 and I had the standings up. I think it's 26-17 record, if I remember correctly. But they're playing some pretty darn good baseball, and this is not a A's team. This is the team that's leading the NL Central, and they have power. And I want to give you a couple stats. If you're looking at what they're doing as a team, they are fourth in terms of batting average. The Dodgers have the best batting average at 262. The Astros have the second best batting average at 261. If you're looking at OPS, they have the second best OPS at 766. You have to drop all the way down to number 7 for the Astros at 738. So that batting average is not always leading going up to the on base percentage. Right. And so if you're looking at the pitching for the Brewers is overall not great. They have a 3.96 ERA, but the Astros they're creeping up a little bit, but they still have a 4.67 team ERA.
Yeah. Look, I mean, this is the Brewers team, like you said, that leads the Central. And our first matchup on Friday, it's Freddie Peralta. We know him. He is a very solid veteran, 3-1 this year with a 3.63 ERA going against Hunter Brown. Look, Hunter Brown, the question is, can he escape that first inning? I mean, if Dubin wouldn't have pitched the 3 innings tonight, is that a guy possibly at some point they put in that first inning because Dubin was dealing? And then the next night on Saturday, it is Bryce Wilson, who's got some decent stuff. He does give up a few long balls, but not as much as the next guy. And he is going up against Justin Verlander. So you've got Hunter Brown, Justin Verlander Jr., and then you have Justin Verlander. And then you have Spencer Arrighetti going against Colin Ray. Now, Colin Ray is the guy that does give up a lot of long balls. He's already given up 6 long balls this year. Only gave up he gave up 23 last year. He's already given up 6 in 8 starts. He gave up 23 in 22 starts. So he's right on pace. So the Astros can expose that. If Hunter Brown can escape a big first inning by the opponent. If Justin Verlander continues to do what he's going to do, and if the Astros in that third game, Spencer Arrighetti can continue to improve, I think, Eric, the Astros can easily win 2 out of 3. Now, I would love for them to sweep the Brewers. Can you imagine a sweep of the A's and the Brewers at home? And how nice is it, Eric? We haven't talked about this much. The Astros are winning at home. Not just winning at home, they're winning in extra innings at home. They're winning by walk-offs at home. And they're winning one-run games. They're beating the brakes off of people. They're doing it every way possible. And that is a good trend that we didn't think was going to happen anytime soon. I'm loving it.
Yes, and I do want to bring up a point that we brought up a while back, but Hunter Brown, he came in relief last week, and he actually had a okay first inning. So I'm just saying.
Okay, you're right. Okay, you're right. No, but what I'm saying is one of the key factors of us winning against the Brewers is him not having one of those first innings.
No, it has nothing to do with what you said today. This goes back to the whole Hunter Brown in relief. Yes, he gave up the 1 run, but he had 7 strikeouts in 5 innings in that game. This was when Cristian Javier only went 1 1/3 innings. But so I think that I'm not saying that Hunter Brown needs to go to bullpen. I'm just saying coming out of bullpen is different than a start. And so that just goes back to the whole discussion we had last week.
Right. But hey, look, I mean, at some point when everybody's back healthy, do they have that discussion with him? Do they have the guys? Do they have the horses in the barn to be able to do that? But hey, man, this has been a great show. Listen, if y'all are listening, I really hope that y'all were safe. I know there was some tornadic weather in the northwest part of Houston. I know it was close to my niece and nephews up there in the Cypress area. Y'all stay safe. You're going to work. Watch out for high water. Listen to us, but don't be distracted by us. We love you guys for listening. He's Eric Huysman. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. This is your only Daily Astros podcast. We're Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Tell them, Eric.
Go Astros. We'll see you tomorrow. Or I guess on Sunday.
Where did my laser show go?